There are 4 types of hormonal IUDs available in the United States. So how are you supposed to know which one is right for you? I'm an OBGYN and I'm going to break that down today. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Dr. Jen Lincoln, board certified OBGYN, author, educator. Welcome to my channel, the health class you didn't get in high school. Go ahead and like, subscribe, turn on the bell so you never miss an upload. Today I'm talking about what sounds like a girl band. It's Mirena, Liletta, Kyleena, and Skyla. They could all be like Sailor Moon characters or some other kind of cartoon character girl band kind of thing. I think that would be a fun thing. But anyway, getting off track. So there's 4 different types of hormonal IUDs that are available to you in the United States. And you might be wondering, which one is better for me? And is there like an absolute best winner and a worst one? I got you covered today. I will have references and resources in my show notes. And before I jump in, go ahead and drop a comment. Have you had a certain one and do you prefer a certain one over the other? Let me know. Okay, first of all, what even are IUDs? They're little T-shaped devices that go in the uterus and work for both they work for both birth control, and when it comes to this kind of IUD that has the hormone levonorgestrel or progestin in it, it can also make your periods lighten up or go away completely, so they can be used for the treatment of that. They are super, super, super effective, over 99.8% effective, and I have a lot more information on them up there. If you're wondering how they work, because there's so much misinformation about how IUDs do or don't work, the main way is that they thicken cervical mucus, so they act as like a physical barrier for a sperm to get up to the egg. And I have a whole other video up here about exactly how they do work. But how are they different? Let's talk about each one. So the first one is Mirena. This is the OG of the progestin IUD in the United States in like the modern era. And as you can see in this table here, the big thing that's different with all of these IUDs is the amount of progestin that's released every day, which correlates to their size and how long they're good for. So that OG Mirena is FDA approved for up to 8 years. It probably works longer than that, and I'm sure eventually we'll get data for that. It is FDA approved not only to prevent pregnancy, but also to control heavy menstrual bleeding or really heavy sucky periods. It has the highest rate of period suppression, which means that you will not get a period, and that's at 50%. And that is amazing if you don't want a period. It's not amazing if you love a period. In fact, none of these methods are good if you like a period. Common side effects include spotting or irregular bleeding, and that's for the first 3 to 6 months after insertion, and that's also really normal for all of these. You might also get some breast tenderness and some cramping after insertion. Fun fact, this is the only kind of IUD I've ever had, and the one I have right now. Liletta, as you can see in the table, is very similar to Mirena. It's approved for the exact same length of time and releases almost an identical dose of progestin. And I like to think of it as the cheaper version of Mirena, and that's really its big benefit, is that it's a bit cheaper. Now, under the Affordable Care Act, almost all insurances cover contraception or birth control at $0 charge to you. That may be changing, so this may be important. Liletta and Mirena, as you can see compared here, they look almost identical and they have pretty similar side effect profiles. Okay, moving on to what I like to think of as the little sisters of the IUD club. Kyleena is kind of the middle sister, as you can see in terms of the progestin that it releases every day and also in size. It is FDA approved for up to 5 years of use. It does have a lower hormone dose, and so the chance that you're going to end up with no period is a little bit lower at about 20%. So if you don't like periods at all and you want the best chance of yours going away, you're probably better off sticking with Mirena or Liletta instead of this one. Both Kyleena and Skyla are a little bit smaller, so these are advertised as like better for people who've never had a baby before. I mean, it's not that big of a difference. I think it's a good option to try if you have tried to have a Mirena placed before and it wasn't successful, or you have a known what we call a stenotic or a really like closed off cervix, but it's not a huge difference. Which leads me to the last progestin IUD available, Skyla. She's the little sister. She's only FDA approved for 3 years, and it's the smallest, the thinnest insertion tube, and it releases the least amount of progestin every day. So again, you have a higher rate of having ongoing bleeding or periods. I personally think, like, why would you choose an IUD that you then have to have replaced every 3 years as opposed to one that you can do every 8 years? But for folks who really want the tiniest tube and that is important to them, or they've not had success with Mirena before, I can see why you might choose the Skyla. And you know what? Options are good. For all of these, your fertility returns exactly back to your baseline as soon as these are removed, so it's important to note that there's no difference there. And so my take-home points, Mirena and Liletta, they are your winners if you want your best chance of having no period, or you have heavy periods and you want them to be a bit lighter. Kyleena and Skyla might be easier to insert, but a lot of times it comes down to provider technique as well. Liletta may be the most cost-effective expensive if your insurance doesn't cover it. And all are super effective, completely reversible, and a wonderful choice if you want a set it and forget it birth control. Okay, go ahead, let me know what you think, what other questions you have, and until next week, stay safe, my friends.